Good morning. This is the GH Today morning news on Friday, 28th of March, the last Friday of the month of 2025. My name is Amma Acquah. Here are the headlines. Lawyer asks Chief Justice Tokonu to be patient as the latter demands copies of petitions seeking her removal to provide an official response before Council of State deliberates on them. Komfanochi Teaching Hospital holds its breath as surgeries are conducted with difficulty owing to the water shortage. Good morning. You're once again welcome to the GH Today News. My name is Amma Acquah. Now, constitutional lawyer Raymond Bidima says Chief Justice Tokonu has gone ahead of herself in requesting the documentation of the 3 petitions for her removal to the Council of State for consultation. Now, the lawyer argues that the wheels of justice must be allowed to turn for itself. This comes after Old Tafel MP Vincent Asafwa filed a suit at the Supreme Court challenging the president's referral, asking the Apex Court to declare the move null and void. Lawyer Bidima added that citizens must know and test the law, with this case being a good learning opportunity for both those learning and practicing law.
Plethora of authorities that the Supreme Court held that if in the exercise of an administrative duties, there is no need to talk about natural justice. It doesn't come into line. It is when it is an inquiry or it is a legal proceeding before a court of competent jurisdiction. That is where if a party is not given the opportunity to be heard, then natural justice will come in. But at this stage, where it is all about determining whether or not there is a prima facie, for which reason there should be an empanelment of a committee to hear the matter. You see, it is at the committee level that if the Chief Justice is not allowed to hear to be heard, then there will be a matter of what natural justice.
So you think the Chief Justice has gone ahead of herself?
That is so. I think the best of my knowledge, she is going so fast. Because at this stage, I don't think that it should or she should request to be heard in that manner. Well, as to whether she has implicated herself or not, it's not the case. But I feel that we need to look at what the provision in the Constitution has to do with regards to removal of Chief Justice.
So still on this, private legal practitioner and running mate of the CPP in the 2024 polls, Wayo Ganamanti, has described the suit filed by Old Tafel MP Vincent Asafwa regarding the decision by President John Dramani Mahama to refer 3 petitions against Chief Justice Tokonu to the Council of State as frivolous. The lawmaker in his suit accused President Mahama of breaching the law because he failed to notify the Chief Justice about the petition for her removal. But Ganamanti says the argument by the MP is not tangible. He spoke to GHOne News.
Or a statutory provision is clear on the face of the document or the law. You don't go beating about the bush referring to other provisions. Article 146 is very clear in clause 3. That when the removal of a superior, a justice of the superior court or a chairman of the regional tribunal, the president will refer that matter to the Chief Justice. It's not ambiguous. It's very straightforward. Up to 143. If it's about any other Supreme Court judge or High Court judge or Court of Appeal judge, or maybe if you were operating the regional tribunal concept and it was chairman of the regional tribunal, that petition, the president is under clause 3. To refer to the Chief Justice. We'll move to 146 plus 6. It's very clear. When the removal is in respect of the Chief Justice, that is the leader, the president in consultation with the Council of State will set up a committee. How is Article 146 plus 6 ambiguous? Why is Learned Counsel beating about the bush? Why is he taking us to Article 557, Article blah blah blah? He's roaming around. It's like in law we say deep fishing. He's fishing. He's going too much into the water to fish.
Now on to matters of health. Management of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital have painted a gloomy picture of the dire water supply situation in the Ashanti region and its impact on its operations. For close to 2 weeks now, water supply to the facility has been cut by the Ghana Water Company Limited. This water crisis has made surgical operations unsafe and has significantly disrupted the delivery of essential healthcare services. Now, Minister of Health and the Ashanti Regional Minister are said to be intervening to avert a possible crisis at the facility. PRO of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Kwame Frimpong, spoke to GHOne News on how the water crisis is affecting services. He also confirmed some surgical operations have been put on hold as a result of the water crisis. We will bring you that sound in subsequent bulletins, but on to other matters. The Assemblyman for Yape, Idi Camille, is appealing to benevolent organizations to support the renovation of the Yape Chips compound. Now, according to him, this is essential for providing better and more reliable maternal care and child health services. The Assemblyman also believes that with the support of generous organizations, the community can enhance healthcare facilities and significantly improve health outcomes for residents. Presence of a polyclinic in the Yape community. Many women prefer to seek healthcare services at the Yape Quarters Chips compound due to its proximity to residents. However, this facility lacks essential amenities, including a delivery room, washroom, and wards for mothers and newborns who are unwell. Additionally, there is no waiting area for mothers who visit the facility every Wednesday. Idi Camille, the Assembly member for the Yape electoral area, is appealing to benevolent organizations to assist in renovating the Yape Chips compound in order to enhance healthcare delivery in the area.
They don't have a toilet facility, and then they don't also have a urinal where even patients or personnel who are working here can be using it. And so some of them just use the close by houses, which is quite unfortunate.
Camille outlined the numerous challenges confronting the Chips compound and demanded the renovation of the facility to ensure it meets the standards of a health centre.
Well, the polyclinic serve a lot of community aside Yapi. And so as for the challenge is we don't actually have place for the delivery. Even though there was a nurse who was sent here, who was posted here, but because that place is not available yet, or it's not ready yet, she was reassigned to a different place. So if we are able to get all these things done, I think that even this Chips compound can grow into a health center.
As a result, part of the compound remains abandoned due to a lack of funds for renovation, which was initially a community-led initiative. Let's move over to the Western region, where CEO of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, Dr. Tony Orbin, says the previous government failed to allocate funds for compensating communities whose lands were acquired for the Jomoro Petroleum Hub project in that region. Now, this funding gap has stalled progress on the project, which is expected to establish a major petroleum and petrochemical hub in Ghana. There's more from a meeting between Dr. Orbin and the Western Regional House of Chiefs.
100 million cedis earmarked as compensation for communities affected by the Jomoro Petroleum Hub Development Project is yet to be disbursed despite former President Akufo-Addo's directive for its release. The project, which aims to establish a petroleum and petrochemical hub in Jomoro, has been delayed due to the lack of compensation. Here is former President Nana Akufo-Addo at the sword-cutting ceremony for Phase 1 of the three-phase project on August 19, 2024.
And people of Jomoro in generously offering their land for the development and advancement of this important project. In recognition of their contribution and with deep appreciation, I've instructed the Ministry of Finance to release as the first step towards the discharge of the liability for compensation some 200 million cedis to commence the payment of land court compensation for the affected community.
Speaking at a meeting with the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Dr. Tony Obin, the Chief Executive Officer of PHDC, highlighted how the previous administration's failure to pay for the acquired land is hindering the project's swift commencement.
We know that there are challenges at the moment. The previous government, secured 20,000 acres of land. Unfortunately, not a penny has been paid. So when that happens, even though you have used the state's muscle to acquire the land, not having paid becomes a problem, because then it is not sure whether it's yours or not.
Dr. Obin also outlined numerous benefits the projects would bring and urged the youth to take full advantage of emerging opportunities.
As a matter of urgency, we start the training of the people of Jomoro. But if you want a job, you must be ready for it. If they come and they're looking for, and so we ask for implementation techniques here, we don't have, then it passes by. And then when it comes to laborers, then everybody can say, any job, no, that's not what we are looking for. That's not the vision of the president. And so they should anticipate the benefit of this hub.
Meanwhile, President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Kwabena Nketia IV, expressed optimism that the PHDC headquarters would be located in the Western region, stating it would serve as a major catalyst for regional developments.
Maybe the petroleum hub can employ about 80,000 people if it works. Then Jomoro area can become the new Ghana. Now, if this is our headquarters or GHOne, it's not what that was a buffet. Them hobby, our headquarters, otherwise you can eat a credit.
The $12 billion earmarked for the first phase was to fund a refinery and the capacity to produce 300,000 barrels per day.
Now, Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak has proposed a special fuel levy aimed at equipping and strengthening the Ghana National Fire Service. This comes in the wake of a recent fire outbreak at Edum, where concerns were raised about the preparedness and efficiency of firefighters.
Proposed petroleum levy, according to the Interior Minister, is expected to fund the procurement of modern firefighting equipment and improve emergency response across the country. Addressing the press at the scene of the Edum Market fire on March 26, the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mubarak, highlighted the glaring neglect of the service by governments despite its crucial role in the country.
All of us need to also make a contribution. And the way to make the contribution, in my view, I'm doing a paper to cabinet. Now look, the fuel that we buy, let's dedicate just 10 pesos per liter just for fire. Because as we speak, when I went to the Ministry of Interior, I realized that the newest tender that we have was procured in 2014. That's more than 10 years. You and I know the way they run. In about 6-7 years, they become obsolete. Yet the newest tender we have is more than 10 years old. Why? So the whole 10 years, as a country, we have not got even a single fire tender. So sometimes we all blame the fire officer for nothing. Because they are using obsolete equipment.
Meanwhile, energy analyst Kojopuku believes that a broader consultation is a major factor in this proposal, adding that alternative sources can be explored to solve the issue.
I don't think it lies in the bosom of the Interior Minister to propose levies on any petroleum product. There is a process that the whole thing has to go through. I think he would have to have a conversation with his colleagues in the energy sector and look at whether it's feasible to have a levy on petroleum products. It has to go through cabinet, and the president has to be the final decision maker on that. Anytime there is a problem in this country, politicians have a tendency to want to go to levies and taxes. When people are in opposition, they are quick to blame certain taxes. But then when they are in power, they are quick to also now talk about putting similar taxes on products. I mean, you have Ghanaians are the ones who are to pay. You need to have that conversation with Ghanaians. Open your phone lines and ask Ghanaians if they want to pay 10 pesos more or pay more money for petrol just for somebody to basically solve problems that government can solve.
the proposed fire levy has since stirred discussions, with some suggesting it will be another burden for Ghanaians.
Well, that's what we have for the morning news this morning. My name is Acquah.